This is a miniaturized MRI. MRI, those big machines, big circle machines that you get into, those are huge and lumbersome. They're several thousand pounds. When you go off in space, we can only take things like ultrasounds, right? With your phone and things of that nature, they're small, they're compact. But in the future, we're going to need these advanced diagnostics. So at NASA, we're trying to create these miniaturized CTs, miniaturized MRIs. And this one's already a startup that's developing that. Next slide. This is platelets, whether they're personalized for you or whether they're nanoparticles or nanorobot platelets that are created for you. This is a startup that came out of NASA iTech. Next slide. Companies are out there not just looking at the genomics of medicine that is going to treat you, but right now, if we all take the same pill, it's all the same size. Well, who says that my gut is the same as your gut? The way I metabolize or digest something is not necessarily the way that you do. So companies are out there already creating additive or 3D printed pills that are specifically made for individuals. Next slide. Nanorobots. This is a coned down view of a cell. So when you think of a cell, we tend to think, of a large membrane with kind of just mushy water and mitochondria and nucleus inside of it. That's not really what it is. If you go down to the atomic or the molecular level, cells are like this. They're like cities. They create lattices and infrastructures. And they walk around, they carry things on like little atomic feet. So with biomimicry, we've been able to create and simulate this type of technology. Next slide. And this is one of those things that is already being created. So you're seeing here a nanomachine that's based on biomimicry of a cell. This one in particular is made to combat cancer. This is a tumor. So these are the types of nanoparticles that in the future will be able to be injected into you. This will automatically circulate and find those malignancies in those preventative or predictive stages, identify the vasculature that's giving that cancer blood flow, and then be able to aggregate platelets to that area and be able to thrombose that vessel so that the cancer will eventually die and rot away. And these are the types of things that we're already creating today. So you can see how the platelets have already kind of blocked off that vessel, and now you can see the cancer kind of wither. Next slide. Biomimicry is in all applications. Liberty Biosecurity is a Virginia-based startup, came out of the iTech program. This was some research that I did with the group, and what they've created is an anti-biofilm. So it's a biologic drug. They're in pre-IND trials now. They are looking for partners, and what it can do, different things. It can destroy biofilm for nosocomial or hospital-acquired infections, and it can destroy biofilms and any other type of chronic infections. The one they're looking at right now is for use in diabetic foot ulcers. Next slide. The interesting thing about Liberty is that they've been able to get exclusive contracts with NASA because of the program. They were able to create this commercialization pathway through a Space Act agreement with NASA. So the deal is this: anything that NASA discovers or anything that NASA studies, whether on the ISS or through one of their laboratories, they get to commercialize first dibs on it. So they have the anti-biofilm one. They have one that is a UV protection. So when someone made a solar panel in, I forget which state they created a solar panel in, but they made the solar panel, it got contaminated with Staph aureus, which is a normal bacteria on your hand, on your skin. The panel got installed to the ISS. They went around, they swabbed it a couple of months later, and they found that this Staph aureus mutated. So it grew this ridiculous UV protection because you didn't have the magnetosphere protecting it. So now they're taking that protein that the Staph makes and trying to create and put it into paints and new materials and use it for sunblocks and makeups and things of that nature, completely biologic, so with no pesticides or nothing synthetic. Next slide. This was one of the first things that they created. So